King Charles and Prince William had a private time before the bath ritual. His Majesty lovingly patted his son's arm. Prince William found peace as King Charles conveyed a heartfelt deathbed wish. This passionate request broke through convention and quiet to reveal what matters to the king in his final chapter, which could change the monarchy. The king asked for what? How will Prince William respond? Learn the reality behind this powerful request. A life awaiting crown. On September 8, 2022, everything changed. Charles assumed his lifelong position after Queen Elizabeth II died. He became the oldest British king at 73, surpassing King William I, who was 64 in 1830. British history's longest-serving heir was Charles. This moment was decades in coming. Charles initially addressed the country as king the following day, a touching moment that resonated across the UK and the world. He praised his mother's loyalty and revealed that his son William would become Prince of Wales, signaling the monarchy's destiny. The days that followed were historic. The Accession Council event where Charles became king was shown live on television for the first time. Queen Camilla, Prince William, the Prime Minister and former Prime Ministers supported him, drawing millions of viewers. Local leaders around the Commonwealth proclaimed Charles as king, reviving the monarchy. King Charles stated his desire to lead differently from the start. By July 2023, he had taken a risk with Britain's offshore wind farm profits. Charles gave the people most of the extra money instead of hoarding it for royal expenses. Only approximately 12% would sustain royal costs. The remainder would help the nation. Charles went global as king. He and Queen Camilla received the South African president during his first state visit in November 2022. King Charles received the South African president on his first state visit. The Duke and Duchess of Wales are also important in the historic two-day event. Next year, Charles became the first British king to address the German parliament. Later he gave a historic French Senate speech. A trip to Kenya in October 2023 was a highlight. This country's history is clouded by British colonization. Charles frankly discussed the past over a formal dinner, calling the violence inexcusable. He did not apologize, but his remarks revealed a readiness to face painful truths, a sign of a king eager to reform with honesty and courage. In early 2024, King Charles's rule changed despite these tremendous occurrences. His enlarged prostate was treated at the London clinic in January. The issue wasn't major. However, doctors found a non-prostate cancer during treatment. This surprise diagnosis devastated the king and his family. For someone who had just began his reign with promise, it was devastating. Charles persisted. He performed his royal duties despite doctors' advice, exhibiting strength amid adversity. Queen Camilla became more public. She gracefully and warmly represented the royal family at significant occasions like Commonwealth Day at Westminster Abbey and Royal Mandi at Worcester Cathedral. The audience loved seeing Charles at Windsor's St. George's Chapel Easter service in March. He inspired others with his strength and joy. In April 2024, the king announced that he would gradually resume official activities as his health improved. The route to full recovery is uncertain, reminding everyone that even monarchs need patience and care. Just when the world thought things were improving, another health setback refocused attention. The king's ultimate request unfolds at Balmoral. King Charles had a short hospital stay and postponed royal appearances in March 2025. Due to cancer treatment complications. With family and friends by his side, he persevered. But life was hard. Under the grey Scottish sky, Balmoral Castle stood motionless and worried. The king's failing health was no longer whispered. It was undisputed. Charles, once muscular and joyful, was emaciated and exhausted. He was exhausted from treatments, and his loved ones watched with sorrowful hearts as time passed. Every moment mattered. The castle was tense over the king's health and the monarchy's future. Important conversations became urgent. A quick decision was needed before things became worse. Princess Anne, a devoted and brave woman, had to fulfill the king's ultimate wish. In the vast hall, images of prior monarchs watched silently as the royal attendants marched forward, pale and terrified, to deliver the king's unexpected request. King Charles wanted Princess Catherine to be queen consort alongside Prince William. Shock and wonder filled the room. This brave choice introduced a new age by breaking decades of convention. Anne subsequently said it felt like their family's story was being changed. Princess Anne's life was constantly associated with the throne. After her grandfather's death in 1952, her mother became Queen Elizabeth II, and Anne became second in line. Even as more royal offspring arrived, she remained unique. Catherine Peebles, her governess, cared for Anne and her brothers at Buckingham Palace with tenderness and discipline. Anne was too young to attend her mother's 1953 coronation, but she felt its magic. She joined the Buckingham Palace Company, a special Girl Guides group for her, at 9 to follow her mother and aunt's example. Anne attended Benendon School, a prestigious boarding school in 1963, and worked hard to gain numerous GCEs and A-levels. At 18, she began her royal duties in 1968, which she performed with grace throughout her life. That lifelong commitment made her the best option to deliver her father's final history-making speech. Anne has always adored horses. She saddled up for more than pleasure. She excelled in equestrian events globally. She became the first British royal to compete in the Olympics in 1976. She had won gold and 2 silver medals in the 1971 and 1975 European Eventing Championships respectively. Her persistence and skill earned her praise. Anne's life goes beyond athletics. She supports over 300 health, education, sports, and disability charities. She has supported Save the Children for almost 50 years, traveling and quietly promoting awareness. She has had ups and downs in her personal life. Her 1973 marriage to Captain Mark Phillips produced Peter and Zara. Anne loves her 5 grandchildren. When she married Commander Sir Timothy Lawrence in 1992, love returned after her divorce from Mark. Timothy, a gentle and reliable man, worked for her mother before they fell in love. The pair has been blissfully married since. Royal Camilla's gentle grief. The audience became silent when Princess Anne expressed the king's final wish to make Princess Catherine queen consort with Prince William. All eyes were on Queen Camilla. Camilla worked hard for years to gain national respect. Her calmness and pleasant smile made her a popular queen after being controversial. She never abandoned King Charles. But Anne's remarks shook her greatly. Her loved ones noticed Camilla losing her composure. Sadness distorted her usually steady eyes. The choice wasn't merely to defy convention. It cut to the heart of her years-long sacrifice. Camilla was a loyal partner and comfort to the king and family. Her future was unknown. After dark, Camilla confided in a close friend. She described her pain after years of rumors, stinging headlines, and inner uncertainties. She worked hard to gain the trust of a people that mistrust her. She was surprised by the prospect of her family role changing quietly. But Camilla was no stranger to adversity. She always got through storms. She sent herself a letter that night accepting change was inevitable. The royal family needs modernization. Still, she mourned her dreamed future and peaceful legacy. Her words were gracious and honest. She pledged herself to keep going, serving, and being a light in uncertainty. In subsequent days, Camilla displayed no sadness. Her smile standing and pleasant words were expected, but those who knew her sensed the calm strength behind her eyes. A woman prepared for anything. Family and colleagues exchanged hushed looks across Balmoral Castle. The ancient stone walls carried centuries of royal history. But now they carried something else. Worry and quiet strain. Some family members withdrew to secret estate corners to find solace amid the grief. Everyone struggled with secret thoughts, torn between tradition and fear of the future. A staff member saw Princess Anne alone near a towering window in a dim hallway. Looking out at the chilly grey Scottish Highlands, she sought calm in the familiar beauty of her beloved country. A peaceful area in the castle hosted a group of royal relatives and counselors. They had serious, worried chats. Legal experts discussed King Charles's dying wish quietly. They cautioned that his decision might overturn centuries-old royal traditions and reshape the monarchy. Many in that room found the king's choice daring and painful. He wanted to bequeath a stronger, more contemporary royal dynasty. Even in his final days, the king placed his future expectations in Princess Catherine by giving her a wider role. This audacious move promised new beginnings, but evoked strong emotions in those quietly watching their environment change. This moment hit Princess Anne, famed for her stability, hardest. Although she supported development, she realized it often required sacrifice. The king wanted more than titles. This was about redefining monarchy values. After the day ended, and the dark Scottish sky dropped over Balmoral, murmurs of change, hushed weeping, and a near future filled the castle. Princess Anne has long stabilized the royal family. The news about King Charles caused worry and uncertainty at Balmoral. Anne was calm throughout. Families needed a backbone. She took on more official tasks than any other monarch from 18 onwards, focusing on work rather than the spotlight or palace drama, while others dodged difficult periods or chased popularity and became reliable. She spoke her thoughts and followed her own path, respecting royal traditions and personal independence. She boldly refused to grant her children regal titles years ago, feeling family was more important. That indicated she valued love over ceremony. Anne remains grounded despite her fame. She often fixes fences on her property or drives herself to events, showing her independence. Anne does her own hair and makeup for special occasions, a small but telling symbol of her independence. In time, people stopped expecting glamour and admired her modest strength. Never seeking publicity, she quietly sponsored innumerable charities, especially those supporting children and disabled people. Her involvement with the Wet Wheels Foundation displays her compassion. Her fashion mirrors her personality. Anne likes classic attire, tweed coats, fitted suits, and old ensembles. She wore the same flowered dress to 2 weddings decades apart, showing she prioritizes meaning over appearance. Anne is practical, thoughtful, and quietly defiant, and she loves horses and the countryside. Her characteristic items include comfy shoes, weatherproof outerwear, and modest jewelry. However, she always adds grace with a brooch or modest cap. She respects her customs. After the king's proclamation, Anne told her counselors to honor the past and embrace the future with open mind. She stressed that past is essential, but the future is too. Anne was ready to lead the transition when old ways had to go. Why King Charles went this way? Each royal decision is significant beyond what outsiders might think. Not only tradition or rules, history, family, and a centuries-old institution are at stake. Everyone questioned why King Charles made a startling final request. A traditionalist king unexpectedly changed course. What prompted this surprise choice? King Charles observed royal traditions for years, preserving generations-old ways. Under the surface, some thought he didn't fear losing power. His main focus was something bigger. Fear that the monarchy will become outmoded and unconnected to its subject. New ideas and beliefs outside the palace were pressing for a more modern, approachable, and relevant royal family. Many believe Charles sensed the future in those calm Balmoral days. Without reform, the monarchy could die. His choice was hopeful. Princess Catherine could revitalize the crown, he thought. Her kindness, calmness, and natural connection with others set her apart. She could honor history and welcome the future. Charles's choice was attributed to love. He loves his country and family. He may have tried to alleviate the burden by giving it to a younger, gentler heart. It quietly healed family scars and gave a fresh start after years of silent rivalry and misunderstandings. The occasion was bittersweet for Queen Camilla. She had quietly earned public respect and supported Charles through difficult circumstances for years. This choice felt backward. She received it gracefully. She knew that old things must go to make room for new ones. Even much it hurt, she chose dignity above disappointment. The task completed, the monarchy now had to navigate this strong statement. There was more to the British Isles' sunrise than just another day. King Charles's surprise wish symbolized a new chapter for the royal family. Serious discussions erupted in Balmoral and Buckingham Palace. There was sadness, perplexity, and tough choices. Princess Anne, famed for her strength, was central. She spent hours talking to counselors, lawyers, and family members to balance tradition with the future. The journey ahead was difficult. Every decision affected royal history, and everyone felt it. Observers waited outside the palace. Many praised Princess Catherine's warmth, generosity, and grace on every occasion. She was loved by the people for years. Now, with King Charles's permission, she could assist modernize the royal family. Prince William silently waited at her side, preparing for the duties. He realized the significance of honoring the monarchy's past while making it more accessible. William and Catherine committed to lead the royal family with kind hearts, hopeful spirits, and the idea that change can be wonderful. It started a cautious, hopeful, and anxious journey. In the early morning, as the sun's warm light touched the castle walls, there was quiet courage. Even amid times of loss and uncertainty, love, kindness, and firm hearts led. As the world held its breath, what followed would define a legacy and a farewell. King Charles' legacy, a tragic and hopeful story, unfolded in Balmoral Castle's long, lonely passageways under flickering lights. His dying wishes provoked strong emotions and tremendous change, as King Charles's health declined. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla felt heavy hearts and responsibility. They carried the grief and the future, honoring a king who decided to change the monarchy. A face was quiet but strong, another was sad but compassionate. Both knew the road ahead would be challenging, anchored in traditions, but needing room for change. King Charles's dying moments affected more than his family. He was known for his bold moves before leaving office as much as his crown. The royal family faced a decision. They had to honor centuries of history while entering a rapidly changing environment. The first light of morning across Scotland's undulating hills was more than a fresh day. It began the monarchy's renewal. Charles had made an impact before becoming king. His navy savings of 7,500 andaras allowed him to create the Prince's Trust in 1976. A tiny charity became a massive network influencing UK and international lives. Over time, Charles founded 16 more non-profits. Each showed his dedication to helping youth find jobs, aiding the disabled, safeguarding the environment, and defending justice. Work wasn't always easy. He spoke out against brutality and injustice, even when it made others uncomfortable. Charles was one of the few Romanians who publicly advocate human rights under a brutal administration. He helped orphans through the Farah Foundation, and his charity reached Britain, Canada, and Australia. Charles brought these values to kingship. He wanted a monarchy that honored its past and looked ahead. Last wishes reflected this idea. They included hope, boldness, and transformation. Not just titles or regal positions. The message was for his family. Keep what matters, but let go of what doesn't. The period was emotional and painful for Princess Anne and Queen Camilla. They felt sadness and responsibility, knowing their choices would mold the royal family for years. The centuries-old monarchy needs to adapt to modern times. As the sun dawned and filled Balmoral's ancient rooms, King Charles's legacy would endure. From history books to the hearts and hands of those pursuing his mission, his good actions, kindness, and courageous choices would carry on. We grieved but also looked forward with quiet hope. As the royal family enters a new period, tradition and change are more sensitive than ever. King Charles's legacy challenges successors to honor the past, while shaping the future. How will Prince William handle the crown in uncertain times? What's next for the monarchy? Comment your ideas below.